Killing, the art of ending someone's life. To many, it's taboo, but for some, it's nothing but orders.
And to those very few, they do it in the most badass way possible without needing to say much, becoming iconic by name alone.
Like Hunk, Resident Evil's Grim Reaper, and the fourth survivor of Raccoon City.
And Boba Fett, Star Wars' greatest bounty hunter among the stars.
He's Demon and Night Marcher.
And it's our job to analyze these characters to their fullest, going through their feats and faults, and see what happens when these two fictional characters collide. In the vile world of Resident Evil, no moment is as iconic as the night of Raccoon City. That night, the undead risen and infected the living, and with only a few chosen lucky souls made it out to see the light. You might actually know some of them: Leon, Claire, and Sherry Birkin, the original 3 survivors of that fateful night.
But what if we told you of another tale that night? A tale of a 4th survivor deep in the sewers of Raccoon City, leader of the Alpha team that was sent to prevent and acquire the virus that originally caused this outbreak. Well, let us tell you the story of this soldier of Umbrella, the Grim Reaper known as Hunk.
Nighthawk, this is Hunk from Alpha Team.
Yeah, so funny story about Hunk and why he ended up here at Zombie Ground Zero. See, he was the leader of Alpha Team, a group of elite soldiers ran by their company known as Umbrella. They were sent to acquire the original virus and the creator of it, William Birkin, alive. Take a note on that.
Once he and his men found Birkin, he was less than willing to go with them, since one of Hunk's allies was trigger-happy, and then started the downward spiral of terrible things to happen in Resident Evil.
Which then caused Birkin to infect himself with the virus, go cycle, and kill most of Alpha Team. Except for Hunk. You see, Hunk is known as the Grim Reaper because when he is sent on a mission, he's usually the only one to survive the situation. So the idea is that everyone else kinda dies so he can come back with the completed mission.
That sounds like awful team morale when knowing he's on your team. But after the attack from Birkin, Hunk woke up in the sewers of Raccoon City in one mission: to escape. And luckily, with the help of his massive arsenal and gear, he can do just that.
He has pistols, magnums, SMGs, shotguns, assault rifles, anything a military grade soldier would basically have on him. Alongside the usual guns, he has grenades and flashbangs, and if a zombie gets too close for him, he can shove one down their gullet and detonate it with a single shot. Or just stab one of them with the many knives he has on him.
And if he ever gets injured, he always seems to have many herbal remedies to first aid sprays to heal himself up, and alongside the tactical SWAT outfit, which is made to take gunfire or zombie bites and somehow grenade explosions at such a close proximity. He also is a master of what seems to be his own form of close quarters combat, which seems to be taking advantage of enemies stumbling and being caught off guard, and
using that to snap necks. Like, a lot of necks. Okay, this guy clearly has addiction for snapping these necks. Someone should help him.
And with this toolkit on him, he bested through zombies, zombie dogs, whatever those things in the sewers are, and even beings like the Tyrant, who can break through walls like paper, lift up destroyed helicopters with a single hand, and even taking an exploding armor cart to the face like nothing.
And it's safe to say, being one of the few that survived the effects of the virus, he's capable of scaling to everyone's favorite colorful cast of shell-shocked characters who just want to retire. Like Leon, who could throw a knife faster than the eye can track, or Jill Valentine, who in the original RE3 game was able to dodge Nemesis' own rocket launcher fire, eager already in the high hypersonic forms of speed.
And he is mostly likely comparable to Chris Redfield, who punched this large boulder a good few feet away. Judging the size of the boulder and how far it was punched by Chris, we estimate this single punch was around 7 tons of TNT.
Yeah, no wonder people who studied the man has said he lost all man, 100% soldier. Well, on the contrary to what they said, he is still human. A good fatal shot would do him in by stuff as simple as an impalement or a shot to the head. And also his duty to the mission is more above him than his own life. Like the event in The Fourth Survivor, when he told Nighthawk to leave because the higher-ups said so, and acted annoyed that he was still there to save them. Again, these two should totally settle down together. Total bromance.
Yep, maybe there is a tiny bit of humanity left in this. But
just f*** already!
later on we see a bit more of Hunk and his relationship with the other members like in Raccoon City. Maybe the original person known as Hunk is still deep in there. Just maybe.
But Hunk would never let that once Nova man back out. This soldier went from the deepest parts of zombie hell on his own with very little. He's seen death of his comrades all the time and is branded as basically a man who would be the only one to survive. Hunk, no matter what, is not human anymore, but only a soldier. I think he'd rather keep it that way in this brand new evil world.
What about you, sir? I lost the sample. I'm going back for it.
Somewhere off in the galaxy, far, far away, there was the legend of one great bounty hunter known as Jango Fett.
I mean, you gotta be a famous killer if the Dark Lord of the Sith's entire convoluted plan to take over the galaxy is based on all your own genetics. Lord Palpatine ordered the creation of clones to serve under him with Jango's genes as the main source.
It was all going good until his interaction with Mace Windu. And during the battle, I guess he didn't get the heads up about how lightsabers work. But Jango's legacy didn't end right there. See, Jango had one request from the Sith Lord that one clone would be unaltered that he can have as a son to raise. And that son just so happened to be as dangerous as his father, taking his helmet and mantle as the most dangerous bounty hunter in the galaxy.
Boba Fett, at your service.
Boba Fett is a beast. You gotta be if you're cool enough to collect the lightsabers of all the Jedi you killed. And it's no shock you can't. Him and his pops aren't normal everyday humans or aliens. They're Mandalorians, which is basically a race of beings trying to professionally fight, well, anyone.
While we only know one canonical Mandalorian, with people like Jango and Boba are Mandalorian by name, but you won't be blamed for thinking of them, especially with the Mandalorian armor he wears. Made out of special metals, it's highly durable, strong enough to bounce back stuff like lightsaber strikes. You know, the thing iconic for cutting through anything with little issues. And even has built-in wrist blades and wrist blasters.
And alongside that, his helmet is one of the most useless things in his arsenal. Not only has infrared, but also has a 360-degree view, and a whole lot more. But that's nothing compared to the arsenal-less man holds, like his trusty EE-3 carbine rifle, he keeps with him at all times. Alongside that, he has a jetpack that launches small anti-hovercraft rockets from his back, has fiber wire rope to snag enemies, and then kneecap rockets. Okay, who is the deranged monster who decided to weaponize the knees? The most harmless of foes.
Alongside all that, he has flamethrowers, concussive smart rockets, and tactical thermal detonators, which at one point were strong enough to destroy this large bridge. Given the size of the bridge and the explosion, it would be around 11 tons. And if you need more proof, here's him surviving thermal detonator grenades point blank, and basically all it did was piss him off a bit.
Yeah, that guy isn't the most physically powerful bounty hunter around, but he can take a hit with that armor. Heck, most of his gear is made for the idea of disorienting Jedi and foes with a hint of dirty fighting. It's kind of why he does need to rely on his gear to handle opponents for him. Even if sometimes his jetpack has a tendency to, well, break at the worst times. But even then, the guy has fought dozens of Jedis, stood against Vader in the original timeline, and more.
The man is so hard to tag and catch, he has shown to be able to dodge ray blaster fire on multiple occasions, and can even be seen as a blur to the human eye.
And while the guy has been bested before, have usual issues with his jetpack malfunctioning out of his control, his greatest weakness is something you wouldn't expect. The Sarlacc pit. Like, seriously, this guy has like some weird connection to this pit in the sand. Like, come on. This can't be a coincidence.
But besides that, Boba Fett has made his name through the galaxy of the universe. When you know you are his target, don't start running, you're only prolonging your end.
Okay, the combatants are set. Let's settle this.
Will the Grim Reaper not survive this hunt, or will Boba Fett's title of the galaxy Dangerous Bounty Hunter be taken?
Time for these two fictional characters to collide.
Amateurs.
This is Hunk. I just arrived at the mission area. Ready to start the mission.
No one escapes me. No more
lost the sample. Not bad.
This job's getting interesting.
Target neutralized.
Brave. I respect that.
So wait, did Hunk survive that? I can never tell with this guy.
Well, even if he did survive, he still can't match Boba Fett in any meaningful way. Just comparing both sets of armor, I don't think military-grade armor is going to match the power of Mandalorian armor. Hunk could theoretically scale to Chris, who punched a 7-ton boulder, but Boba's armor survived an 11-ton detonator close range, and all it did was piss him off.
Hunk could scale to Jill Valentine's rocket launcher dodging, but Boba has dodged laser fire. And that doesn't include the most impactful part of this fight, which is Boba Fett's arsenal. While Hunk's arsenal is impressive for the world of Resident Evil, he doesn't have anything for anti-landcraft rockets, plasma shots, thermal detonators, and he has no way to survive against a lightsaber strike. Stuff that Boba Fett has on him at all times.
Granted, Hunk does have physical superiority over Fett in hand-to-hand and is a lot more skilled in combat. But granted, Fett is known for outsmarting and playing dirty on much more superior foes, so it's safe to say he can do the same to Hunk.
Hunk was a stubborn soldier to the end, but thanks to Boba Fett's more superior durability, armor, gear, trickier style of fighting, the Grim Reaper has met his match.
I guess Hunk's chances of victory just blew up in his face.
The winner is Boba Fett.
Yeah! All right! So, now what?
Episode 7, Boba on the hunt, semicolon, watch your ass, Solo.
Next time on Fictional Characters Collide.
Iron Fist. I look forward to fighting a real warrior.
Lucario!
Hold the power of Aura.